Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bravo Cast. Tonight we have a really fun episode. We have the second annual Bravo Award nominations. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Bravo Awards are like my own personal award show type thing, where basically I just give out awards to a bunch of my favorite movies, shows, games, usually music. But I didn't do music this year just because I really fell behind on music. I just don't feel like I heard enough new stuff to really give like a proper like opinion and like nominations on stuff. Like I just don't think I felt qualified this year. So unfortunately I chose to skip the music awards this year just because, like I said, I feel like it just wouldn't be good. It just wouldn't be good. I don't have enough of an idea of what happened this year. Like a couple albums came out that I really liked. I just listened to those nonstop. I didn't listen to as much new stuff as I did in the past years. This year I was much more like movie focused. I haven't seen movies that have come out in like the past month or two just because I've been really busy at work. So some newer stuff is going to be missing, just a little heads up. But we'll start getting into it because I have a little part of it that's about describing what my award show is. So we've done this before. Technically, this is the third time I've done this. But the first time I did it, I never followed through and actually gave out awards and never picked the winners. So this is like the second actual time. Last year, I didn't do nominations. I just picked winners during my best of the year video. I made a top 10 movies of 2022 video. I just gave out awards during that. But this year, I think I'm just going to have another Bravo Cast episode where I actually just have like an award show and we give out the awards, instead of doing it in the best of the year video. I feel like that would make more sense. So that's what's cooking. What's up, Kyle? What up? Yep, is that time of year again? Who needs the Oscars and the Golden Globes? Am I right? So, so here we go. We're gonna get into it. The second annual Bravo Awards, and there were some tough choices that had to be made. As usual, you know, I sit here and I torture myself with stuff like this. But here's like a little breakdown of like how I came to my decisions. All of the nominations are based on just my personal enjoyment. I'm not basing everything off of like objective quality and everything. It's my award show. I picked the stuff that I liked. Obviously, quality has something to do with it because I don't like garbage. Nobody likes poop unless you're a weirdo. I mean, maybe everyone likes a little bit of poop. I don't know. But quality isn't just the only thing I base these selections off of. And then every category has up to 6 nominations. Most categories have 6. Most of them. There's a couple that don't. And I'll kind of touch on that when we get to them. But most categories have 6. And the categories are pretty simple. I kept them all the same. Maybe next year we'll expand it and add some more categories. But this year we kept it a little bit more basic because I'm still trying to figure out the format of the show. But anyway, we'll start off with the big dogs. Best actor in a show or movie. This is lead actor. First nomination, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer. Had to happen. I mean, if you've seen the movie, even if you haven't, I feel like everybody knows this was just going to happen. You know, I thought this movie was absolutely phenomenal. And Cillian Murphy was just unreal in the movie. He was so goddamn good. So it's just like, no shit, he's here. Of course he is. Another no shit, Leonardo DiCaprio, my favorite actor of all time, securing a Bravo Award nomination for Killers of the Flower Moon. I thought he was really, really good in this movie. Saying Leonardo DiCaprio is good in the movies, like saying Water's Wet. You know, he's always great. I will say, I don't think it's like in the S tier of his best performances, but he's still great in the movie. So he had to be here. He's another just shoe in, like of course he's here. Then we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the biggest daddy in the world, Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us. He took a little bit of a backseat in The Mandalorian, and I think this is the reason why, because he was filming The Last of Us, obviously. And I was never concerned about Pedro Pascal playing Joel. I was concerned about the show a little bit when it was first announced, but I was never ever in doubt of Pedro Pascal playing Joel just because he's such an amazing actor. And he crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. He did a great job bringing a new version of Joel to life, a little bit more of like an emotionally vulnerable Joel, a less buffed up killing machine Joel. He still is when he needs to, go crazy, he still goes crazy. But, a little bit more of an emotional side to his version of Joel in the show. And I thought he just killed basically every single scene he was in. And I thought his chemistry with Bella Ramsey was amazing. So yeah, Pedro Pascal, again, had to be here. Then we got Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. I think The Bear is one of the best shows out right now. Season 2 was even better than season 1. And I mean, Jeremy Allen White just does a great job of leading the show. I mean, this season did expand a lot of the other supporting characters as well. But, he is the main character. He did a great job as per usual. Carmi's a very interesting character. He's got quiet moments. He's got those loud, crazy moments. And it doesn't matter. He just kills it. He's such a great actor. Brings a lot of great comedic timing to the role also. And you just feel for him. Like, he does such a great job. Like, just an absolutely amazing performance. It can be subtle. It can be flashy. You get a little bit of everything. Great performance from Jeremy Allen White. And then we have Shameik Moore as the voice of Miles Morales. Now, this might be controversial, It's an animated voiceover performance, but I just thought it was so good that I had to include it. I had to include it. Spider-Verse is one of my favorite movies of the year. I don't think that's shocking to anybody. Everybody knows I'm a nerd. I love me some Spooder-Dooder. And he just really, he was already amazing into the Spider-Verse, but Miles really comes into his own in this movie. And I thought Shameik just did an amazing job of really emphasizing that and making you feel like Miles is him. He is him, and he's ready. Just a great voiceover performance from him. And then finally, rounding out the lead actor category, we got Bill Hader in Barry, the final season of Barry. A less comedic performance this season, a much more tortured, demented, dark Barry than some of the previous seasons. But amazing as usual. I'm so excited to see what Bill Hader does next. He's done a great job of like a lot of other comedic actors of not just being boxed into comedy, and especially in this show also with his directing and writing. Like, Bill Hader really is like one of the most talented people working in Hollywood today. So I'm just excited to see what he does next now that he's done with Barry. Now we're going to transition into best actresses, lead actresses in a show or a movie. And this one, most of these categories are kind of stacked, but this was a good category. First up, we got Lily Gladstone from Killers of the Flower Moon. When she's on the screen, she just has a presence, and most of the important scenes in the movie revolve around her. And she just does such a great job with like she's a very understated, calm, cool, collected character. You know, there's moments of, you know, pain and suffering, but just such a great kind of understated, realistic performance. Really, really great job. And she is like the heart and soul of the movie. And if her performance wasn't as great as it was, the movie as a whole would not have worked. Then we got Margot for Barbie. Had to get her in here. I think it's a I think it well, I don't know if it would be an underrated performance for her because, you know, usually she does a lot of like dramatic stuff. But this one I feel like had a little bit of everything. It showed off her range in a really impressive way. Like she's got very serious moments. She's got a lot of comedic moments. You know, she's got basically like every type of Margot Robbie performance encapsulated in the character, like everything. And I think she just nails every single scene. Uh, she's funny. You feel bad for her. She can also, you know, be not so great to Ken. Like, like you get everything. Just it's a great performance. I think it's an underrated performance. I think there's a lot of range to her performance as Barbie in the movie. And by the end of it, you know, it packs an emotional punch. So really, really great performance as usual from Margot. Then we got Melissa Barrera from Scream 6. I thought she was good in Scream 5. You know, I thought she was good. But kind of like how Miles Morales took over, like big time really took the reins in across the Spider-Verse. She really took the reins of Scream 6 and just kind of backpacked the movie. Like Melissa Barrera is so amazing as Sam in Scream 6. Like she solidified herself as one of the best characters in the whole Scream franchise. The fact that she got fired and won't be coming back is a travesty. But she's so incredible in this movie. She's such a badass. And she's just one of the best final girls we've had in the Scream franchise, and really just one of the best final girls we've had in horror, I think. I think she's really, really cool. A unique final girl and character. And yeah, it's a shame we won't get to see more of it, but she deserved to be here. Then we got Bella Ramsey from The Last of Us. I mean, they just fully encapsulated Ellie. Like the personality is 1-to-1 from the game to the show. She did such an amazing. Oh my God, I'm sorry. They did such an amazing job of just capturing that spirit. You know, the anger, the joy, the comedic timing, the sarcasm, while also like some of the pent up rage and aggression that we'll see more of in season 2 and part 2. Yeah, I don't think there could have been a better casting really for Ellie. Like, just if you play the games and you watch a show, or even you just watch some of the scenes from the games and then you watch Bella's performance, it's just like, yeah, it just feels like an extension. Really, really great job of just staying true to Ellie. So just a great performance. And then we got Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, which might also be a controversial pick because she caught a lot of fire in the beginning of the show. People were saying she was very wooden and kind of emotionless. But then when you watch the entire show of Ahsoka and you see her arc, you kind of realize that that's the whole point. Because after certain events take place, I don't want to spoil it because it's a new show. After certain events take place, you can see her mental state kind of just completely change and her attitude completely change. And then she just transforms into like the Ahsoka we've always known and loved. And once that change happens, I was just kind of in awe of how amazing she was and how much she captured the feeling of like the animated Ahsoka that I love and everybody else loves. I thought she did an amazing job. I think she's amazing as Ahsoka. And then on top of just capturing Ahsoka and delivering a great performance, she does most of her own stunts and fights too, which is awesome. So another just big ups on that. Like she does like all of her fights and stuff. Like she trained her ass off to do all of Ahsoka's different lightsaber fights and action scenes. So that's really cool as well. And then finally closing it out, I did have to throw Haley Steinfeld a nomination for her performance as Spider Gwen Stacy. She took a much bigger role in Spider Verse or into in Across the Spider Verse. She got a big upgrade. You could even argue that she could be like the main character of the movie. Like her and Gwen and Miles kind of share the movie. And I think her story is just interesting. I think getting the backstory on her was really good. The whole opening scene, just yeah, really great job. Same thing as Shamik, just being able to just show as much emotion and stuff through a voiceover performance is very impressive to me. So I had to show Haley Steinfeld some love for her performance in Across the Spider-Verse. Now this one, moving into the best supporting actor category, this one maybe the most stacked category of the entire show. This was by far, for me, the hardest one to just like picking the six was very tough. It was tough for me, but I think I picked six just absolute banger performances here. Yeah, I know you would enjoy that nomination, so had to do that. Had to do that, of course. Um, so yeah, this category is nuts. This is like a battle of the titans for me. I don't know who and that's the thing too. I haven't really thought about who's going to win any of these awards yet. It was enough torture just to sit here and get all of the nominations. So I actually have no idea who's going to win any. I have no idea who's going to win any of these. I don't even want to think about this one yet. But we're just going to go through nominations. And unfortunately, that is the only nomination Haley Steinfeld will get. Um, Starting off strong, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer. I mean, fantastic. He's not just playing Robert Downey Jr. He's not Tony Stark. He's actually like, and I don't mean to like sound offensive when I say, but like he's actually given like a actual performance. And like I said, that's not a shot. It's just Tony Stark kind of is Robert Downey Jr. And we've seen so much of that for fucking what was it like 12 years. That it was like almost weird to see him in a role that wasn't Tony Stark. And he was just so great in Oppenheimer. His section of the movie is so interesting and just so great. And he just does such an amazing job playing that character, all the different revelations and his point of view. It's just fascinating. Really great performance. Back-to-back Roberts. Robert De Niro, the legend, in Killers of the Flower Moon. This performance was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It's one of his best performances, like in decades. It's got to be. Like he's so unbelievably amazing in Killers of the Flower Moon. There's shades of of Jimmy Conway from Goodfellas, and there's shades of his character in Cape Fear also, because you got the southern accent, and he's just like this old plotting mafioso type guy, and he is just electric when he's on the screen. Like when him and Leo are on screen together, it's magic. And when he's on screen, like you're just like wondering and waiting, seeing what he's gonna do. Like unbelievable stuff. Robert De Niro's a fucking goat, and he just killed this movie, no pun intended. Like he killed the role. There he is. Ken. I mean, do we have to talk about Ryan Gosling and Barbie? Is there anything to be said? Look at that mink. Just look at him, bro. No, but I I just love Ryan Gosling. I just fucking love Ryan Gosling, man. Great dramatic actor, obviously. He's given amazing performances throughout the years. But I've been saying ever since I've seen The Nice Guys, I've been saying ever since I've seen that, this dude is a underrated ass comedian. Like he is so fucking funny. His comedic timing is unbelievable. And he's just so goddamn funny. And there's just so many scenes in this movie where he just had me literally like in tears. Like it's so funny. And he's just having a blast. Like you just feel it. Like it's just such an amazing performance. And this is like I don't want to slander Margot because she got nominated. So like I'm not gonna slander her, but I'm just gonna say like if Ryan Gosling wasn't in this movie and if he wasn't as good as he was, I don't know if I'd be as high on Barbie as I am. You know, I feel like he really made the movie work. Cause like Margot goes in there, she kills it. But Ryan Gosling just steals the show. And for me, as a Ken, he made this movie work for me. He just made the movie work for me. So like he's just unbelievable. He had to be here. He had to. Ryan Gosling is one of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet. He needs to do more comedies because he's just so good. I'm happy that this movie put that like into mainstream, that Ryan Gosling is fucking funny. He can act his ass off and he's hilarious. So hopefully we'll get more comedies with him. And please, for the love of God, I know it's not going to happen. I'm just going to put it out there. The Nice Guys 2, please. I need it. I need it. All right. Ebon Moss Bacharach, hopefully I said that name right, from The Bear. He I don't want to say he stole the season, but his whole arc in season 2 of The Bear, because like season 1, for the most part, I feel like he was kind of the comedic relief punching bag type character. Season 2 really fleshed him out. You get to know a lot more about him. He still has the comedic relief, but you really get to know him and feel bad for him. And you're just like, you get to the point by the end of the season where you're just so happy to see him start to be happy and start to just, you know, figure out who he is and his purpose. Like it's just such like a feel good motivational story he has in the season, and he just does an amazing job carrying it. Same thing as Jeremy Allen White, where like he's funny, he's serious. Like it's just a very, very varied performance, all types of different, you know, feelings you get watching his character. Like great job, just absolutely great. And like I said, his like, I don't remember if it was like 2 episodes or 3 episodes, but his arc in the whole season in general was just amazing. One of the standouts of season 2. And yeah, I can't wait to see Bear season 3. It's so good. Then we got my man Anthony Kerrigan from Barry, fucking Soho Hank, dude. My favorite character in Barry. The final season overall was much darker than the other seasons. And his character didn't necessarily go where I wanted it to, but he just does such an amazing job. He just did such a great job. And like I said, just he was my favorite character in the entire show. So many quotables. The funniest scenes in the show are basically all him. So it was interesting to see him be a little bit more serious. He always had like some serious moments in the show, but like just like I said, the final season in general was much more serious and dark than all the other ones. So to see where his character went was crazy, and Anthony just did an absolutely amazing job just selling it, you know? Even though it wasn't really what I wanted, he just made it work. So like I couldn't really say anything about it. It's not what I wanted. He didn't, he didn't get the fate that I wanted, but he just did such a great job, and I can't wait to see him do more stuff because my God, again, like just so fucking funny. And then when he needs and then those emotional scenes with him hit hard, very hard. Pause. But yeah, he had to be here again. Like, my God, I love NoHo Hank. Timothy Chalamet robbed. I did. I didn't see Wonka. I didn't see Wonka. So there you go. I can't rob him if I never went to his house. You know what I'm saying? If I never walked up to him on the street, I can't rob him. I never met him. I don't know Wonka. Ray Stevenson as Balin from Ahsoka, R.I.P. Where his character ends in the show makes me so upset that we got robbed of seeing where his character goes in the future. I mean, I'm sure we'll probably get more Balin, obviously, because he was such a big character in the Ahsoka show. But obviously, they're going to have to recast him. Or if they write him off, like, I don't know. Either way, it's just sad, man. It's his final performance, I'm pretty sure. And it's just really sad because the Star Wars community really just adored his character. Like, even people that didn't even like the Ahsoka show still said how awesome Ray Stevenson was as Balin. So it's just really sad that he didn't get to see like the warm reception that he got from all the Star Wars fans. Really, really sad. And it just sucks that we're not going to get any more of him in the role, because like I said, where his character ends left me wanting so much more and excited to see where he was going. And honestly, I think he might be the best Disney era Star Wars villain, if you want to call him a villain. I think he's just a very complicated character that we don't know all that much about. So it's really sad that we don't get to see him explore the character more, because he just owned it. And whenever he was on screen, it's just some of the best stuff in the show. And I was literally like, I love the show, but I was low key waiting for him to come back. every episode I was waiting. I was like, what's he doing? What's he up to? Where's he at? So it was just such a great performance. R.I.P. Ray Stevenson. One of the best Star Wars villains, in my opinion. Best supporting actress in a show or movie. I'm gonna be honest, this one was hard for me because I couldn't pick 6 nominations. I have 5. And this one was tough, where there was a few I was thinking about to take that 6th spot, but none of them felt right. None of them were moving me. I wasn't feeling it in my loins. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll do 5. These were the 5 that stood out to me. I didn't want to force someone in there. So this category only has 5. And, I guess I'm canceled because, of course, the actresses are the ones that get snubbed. I'm sorry. Please. So we'll take the hit on that. We'll take the PR hit on that. I apologize. But these 5 are great. First up, Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer. She's one where, like, in the beginning of the movie, you get a good amount of her. Then, like, pretty much the big middle chunk of the movie, she's kind of not there too much. And then at the ending, again, she has some really powerful, big moments. So that was kind of it. So the ending really, like, got her the nomination. That one scene where she's being interrogated is all I'll say. That scene's insane. Love that scene. Love that scene. Haven't seen Wonka either. Let's go when I'm home. Bet. I'm down for that. I'm down for that for Showski. Yeah, it's been a good run, chat. The Bravo cast is officially ending after 7 episodes. I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for everything. You'll never see the winners of these awards. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. Um, I'll go over the ones that were on the fringe after I announce the other contenders. So after Emily Blunt, we got Alyssa Sutherland from Evil Dead Rise. I think a great performance. You get to see her obviously normal in the beginning of the movie, and then spoiler alert from literally the fucking poster, she's the one who turns into a deadite and gets possessed, and she kills it when she's possessed. Super creepy, funny, just great, crazy, unhinged performance. Absolutely loved it. She kind of makes the whole movie work. So I had to give her that nomination right there. Then another nomination from the Bear, Ayo Edebiri. Just great. Another one where you got a good amount of her in season one, but you get even more of her in season two. And I think her and Jeremy Allen White just have amazing chemistry together. And then her and God, the dude from Odd Future. I can't think of his name, who I also love in the show. Her and the guy from Odd Future also have great chemistry. Like, just a great performance, great character. Also enjoyed her arc in season two as well. Anna Torv from The Last of Us as Tess. I wish we had more of her. I thought she did an amazing job. I thought she just felt exactly like Tess. Kind of sad that we didn't get like another episode with her. I think they got rid of her a little too soon, personally. But when she's there, she's amazing. And like I said, she just captured Tess so perfectly. Just great. She's badass. And she's badass, but you still get the kind of softer side of her, which is why I think Tess is such a great character in the game too. Where like she's a really hardened badass, but then Ellie starts to bring out some of the more, you know, kind of nurturing side to her, I guess. And you get to see a little bit more of like Tess and Joel's relationship that wasn't really in the game. Like, you know, they're kind of like ambiguous in the video game where like you think they're kind of, you know, dating or a thing or whatever. But the show is like, yeah, no, they're a thing. So I really enjoyed Tess in the show. Just wish we got a little bit more of her. She was great. And then we're loading up on The Last of Us Love, Merle Dandridge as Marlene. I couldn't choose between the two. I was only going to nominate one, but then I was like, fuck it. I can't choose. They're both getting a nomination. They both have almost about the same. Well, I think Tess has more screen time for sure than Marlene, but Merle Dandridge actually played Marlene in the video game as well. So seeing her actually get to play her in live action was dope. And she killed it in the video game. She killed it in the show. And like her like backstory scene with Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie's mom, who voiced Ellie in the video game, in the beginning of the final episode was awesome. Like, she's great. She is Marlene. Literally nobody else has played Marlene except for her. She has 100% ownership of that character, which is cool. And I thought she killed it. So that's the final nomination for Best Supporting Actress. There were some, like I said, there were some ones that were on the fringe of getting that sixth spot, but I just wasn't fully sold on them. Let me look at my list again. The one that I immediately know that I was very strongly considering was, I was thinking about giving it to Tessa Thompson from Creed 3. I thought about it. I thought about the like blonde doctor from Saw X. I thought about Rebecca Ferguson for Mission Impossible. I thought of God, what's her? I'm forgetting her actual name, but this is good. This is stupid. The girl who plays Peggy in the Captain America movies. I thought about her for Mission Impossible as well, but I liked Rebecca Ferguson more. But I didn't think Rebecca Ferguson was really in Mission Impossible, the new one, that much. And it wasn't like some of her best stuff. Like, she wasn't really, she kind of got sidelined a little bit. So, like, none of those are really moving me. And then, even on the TV side of things, I thought about maybe nominating Katie Sackhoff for The Mandalorian as Bo-Katan, but same thing. I just wasn't really 100% feeling it. Like, if I'm not 100% feeling a nomination, I don't give it. So I just, I made the tough decision, just kind of, we'll do 5. So that's it for Best Supporting Actress. Let's go into Best Director or Directors of a Show / Movie. Another tough category. Another tough one. But ultimately, I went with Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. I went for Marty for Killers of the Flower Moon. Then I did Greta Gerwig for Barbie. Like, those 3, you have to have them. Then I did Chad Stahelski for John Wick 4 because visually, John Wick 4, I think, is the best looking John Wick movie. I think the action is directed to perfection. And even though it's like a 3-hour long movie, you don't feel the length entirely. I feel like it moves at a pretty decent pace. The acting is pretty solid. And yeah, I just really like John Wick 4 overall. So I thought it deserved it. Across the Spider-Verse, I don't think you have to explain it. There's like 3, I believe there's 3 directors of Across the Spider-Verse. So I had to nominate Across the Spider-Verse. It's just such an amazing achievement on an animation front. It had to get one. It had to get one. And then same thing with The Last of Us. It's obviously a whole group of directors, so I couldn't just name 1 or 2. But in my opinion, it's the best video game adaptation we've ever gotten. They just perfectly captured the show, and the show is so amazing. It just had to get nominated for Best Direction, to me. We got a few more awards. Shouldn't take that long. So if you want to push through the EP, you could try. Hold on. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's like 6 or 7 more. 6 or 7 more. But that's it for the directors. So that's a really tough category also. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one. Then we got Best Cinematography. This one also has some heavy hitters in it. We got Oppenheimer again, Killers of the Flower Moon again, John Wick 4 again, Across the Spider-Verse again, The Last of Us again, and then I threw The Bear in there because I think just the visual, just the style of The Bear, the shots, the editing, how it all just visually comes together is gorgeous and just impressive. They're all beautiful in different ways. It's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a really tough category to pick. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I mean, Across Spider-Verse might be the best looking animated movie I've ever seen. John Wick 4 is gorgeous. The Last of Us is gorgeous. Killers of the Flower Moon is gorgeous. Oppenheimer is I mean, they're all just, they look great. They're just pretty. They're not hard on the eyes. Then we got Best Score of a Show or Movie. And for this one, I kind of loaded up on Star Wars. I'm not going to lie. Star Wars is kind of a cheat code for music, and I used the cheat code. The Mandalorian and Ahsoka both getting nominations, along with Killers of the Flower Moon, Across the Spider-Verse, Oppenheimer, and The Last of Us. As a little preview, this will be interesting because Star Wars music is a cheat code, but I think The Last of Us, I mean, I'm just a Last of Us fanboy, so take all this with a grain of salt. The Last of Us has my favorite music out of any video game ever. And they used a majority, a lot of music from the games. So it was just amazing. And then just, I mean, all of them have great scores. Oppenheimer, I mean, it's Ludwig Göransson who did like the Mandalorian score as well in the past seasons and has done a whole bunch of work that's just unbelievable. Across the Spider-Verse has some amazing like synth, techno, hip hop type shit going on. It's crazy. Because of the Flower Moon, you have like the Native American tribal stuff, and then Star Wars. It's crazy. This music category is also stacked. Then we got Best Hero, and for this category, we have six. So we did six for heroes and villains. First up, we got Miles Morales from Across the Spider-Verse, because of course, like how could I not do that? Just unbelievable. Blue Beetle. I actually enjoyed Blue Beetle. I think it's an underrated movie. I had a fun time with it. I thought Blue Beetle was a cool character. I enjoyed the movie and I enjoyed the character. Then we got Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Chris Pratt is amazing as Star-Lord. As much of a meme as Chris Pratt has turned into, he just does a great job with Star-Lord. I really enjoy his performance in all of the Guardians movies. And he's great in this one as well. But Rocket, man. Rocket is my favorite member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Bradley Cooper does such a great job, especially in this movie, playing young and old Rocket. And he's kind of like the main focus of the movie. So had to give it to him in here. Rocket, this was like the best Rocket movie. So he had to get a Best Hero nomination. Ahsoka, because of course, she had to be here. So awesome, so badass. Just it's Ahsoka. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We also got Sam from Scream 6. We talked about her already. I think she's a great final girl, one of the best Scream characters we have. And she's just a badass, and she's a very different final girl, especially in the Scream franchise, and I just love her. Transitioning into Best Villain, start off with Ghostface. Scream 6's Ghostface is the most brutal, big, imposing, intimidating Ghostface we've had so far. Ghostface has always been like the kind of, goofy, like, you still don't want to, you still be scared shitless if he's chasing after you because he hauls ass, but he's tripping over stuff, they're throwing shit at him and he's like falling and, like he's kind of like a Scooby-Doo villain. We all love him for that. But this one, there's not so much tripping. There's not so much falling, there's not as much goofy, like, no, he's on that ass, like he's on a mission in this movie. So had to give Ghostface the nod, the GOAT. Then newcomer to the slasher world, we got John Carver from Thanksgiving. Really, really enjoyed Thanksgiving overall as a movie. We'll talk about Thanksgiving again in a little bit. And with the confirmation of getting a Thanksgiving 2, which to be honest, I'm excited, but I don't know how I feel about because I don't know where they're going to go from the first one. I can see him turning into like a modern slasher icon. Just because I think the first Thanksgiving movie was so fun, and I think the design's actually pretty cool. So depending on how the rest of the sequels go, we could have another iconic slasher on our hands. Talked about him a bunch already. Ray Stevenson as Balin Skull, one of the best Star Wars villains we've had in a very long time. Probably the best Disney Star Wars villain. Unbelievable performance, unbelievable character, so cool. I mean, look at him, bro. Look at that like knight armor he has on. Like, you just look at the beard, the hair, dude. I could play an origin story Balin Skull, dude. Look at me. I got the beard, I got the hair. Let's go, bro. Disney, Mickey Mouse, hit me up. Then we got David from The Last of Us. I will say, I am extraordinarily biased to Nolan North as David in the video game. I prefer video game David 1,000 times more than the show's version of David, but putting my personal bias aside, he did a great job still. He did do a really good job. He's creepy, he's gross. Great villain, He's like when I think of the Last of Us villains, David's always the first character that comes to my mind. And he did a really good job. He did a really good job. Just not Noah North. Nobody ever will be. Then we've got Spot from Across the Spider-Verse. Starts off as like a goofy, funny, comedic relief type of villain. And then as the movie goes on, it gets darker and creepier. And they really built him up for this third Spider-Verse movie. I am very interested to see what he's going to do in the third Spider-Verse movie. I'm assuming he's going to be a very, very big threat. So I'm excited to see that. And they did a good job building him up. So now I'm ready to see him just go crazy. So he could have another nomination in a few years from now when the third Spider-Verse movie comes out. Who knows? And then the only video game character to be nominated for hero or villain was Venom. I actually thought about it at first because I wasn't going to include video game characters in these categories in hero or villain. But then I thought to myself, I was like, but I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to myself and to what this show stands for if I didn't nominate Venom for best villain, because Venom is my favorite Spider-Man villain. And this is my favorite version of Venom that I've ever seen. This is my perfect Venom. Tony Todd destroyed it with the voiceover work. And I just think the story, I'm not going to say anything because Spider-Man 2 is new. I'm just going to say Venom's story is amazing. And it's just the best version we've gotten. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm just going to say that this is the best version of Venom we have gotten. It takes a poop on Spider-Man 3, the movie, and it takes a diarrhea dookie fire on those atrocious Venom movies we've been getting for the past few years. I love Tom Hardy, but Jesus Christ, are those movies fucking dog shit. This is what I've wanted. This is what I've been needing, and I got it, and I loved it. Tony Todd's the GOAT. Now, biggest surprise. So this one, simply, is for movies that surprised me. Shocking, I know. So the way I kind of gauge this, because I believe I only have, how many nominations for this do I have? I have 5 nominations. So basically with this, most of the movies that I selected for this were either movies that I thought were going to be not good based off of trailers or whatever. Like going into most of these movies, I expected them not to be good or just to be kind of disposable, whatever. But they ended up blowing me away and I really, really enjoyed them. So that's kind of what I did for this one. And the nominations we got are Thanksgiving, Barbie, Saw X, Evil Dead Rise, and Blue Beetle. Thanksgiving, I thought was going to be just dumb. I thought it was going to be dumb. Like, I was like, oh, this just looks like a Scream ripoff. It looks like a gimmick. Like, I don't know. Like, it just looks kind of dumb to me. The trailers didn't really sell me. And then when I sat down and watched the movie, I fucking loved it. I thought it was so much fun. And yes, I don't want to say, yeah, all right. It rips off Scream, but it also shows love to Scream and just slashers in general. So it kind of gets a pass for me because it showed respect to other slasher movies, especially Scream. Did not expect to like that movie as much as I did. I walked out of the theater loving it. I can't wait for it to come out on Blu-ray. I hope it fucking comes out on Blu-ray. You never know these days. I'm going to buy that instantly and rewatch it. I cannot wait for that. That's going to be a new yearly tradition of mine. Every Thanksgiving, I'm putting this shit on. Loved it. Barbie. I expected it to be good. I didn't expect it to be great. You know, I thought it'd be like fine, fun, maybe it'd be bad. I wasn't really sure, you know, but I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did. I didn't think it was going to be like a dumpster fire, but I thought there was like a ceiling of how good it could be, and it broke through that ceiling. So had to give that a nomination for biggest surprise. Saw X. I'm just not like huge into the Saw franchise, you know, like I've seen Saw 1 and 2. I'm gonna watch all the Saw movies now. Saw 1 was my favorite, and then I just rewatched Saw X like a week ago. And I like Saw X probably just as much as the first Saw movie, which I never expected. Because the only thing I've heard is that the Saw sequels get really bad, so I was kind of expecting this one to also be bad. But I loved it. I still love it even on a rewatch. It's great. One of the best horror movies that have come out this year for sure, easily. I was not expecting to love the movie as much as I did. I always thought Saw 1 would always be my favorite by like a pretty decent margin, but this one's neck and neck with it. So that was a pretty big surprise to me. Evil Dead Rise, again, also, like, I'm not the biggest Evil Dead fan. I kind of respect Evil Dead more than I like Evil Dead. Like, I enjoy the first one. The second one feels like a fucking fever dream shroom trip, but it's fun in a ridiculously campy, insane way. Haven't seen Army of Darkness. And I thought the remake was actually pretty solid. Like, I really liked the Fede Alvarez remake a lot. Thought it was like brutal and gross and disgusting. And it's not as brutal, gross, and disgusting as the remake, but I think it still feels like an Evil Dead movie. And I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it going into it, just because Evil Dead's like, you know, I don't know. I don't love it as much as everybody else does, but I really, really enjoyed it like a lot. So had to be here. And then Blue Beetle, I thought was gonna be bad. I'm just being I thought it looked bad. I thought the trailers were terrible. Like really fucking bad. I ended up enjoying it, so it had to be here by default. And now we have the nominations for Best Show. Guys, I'll just be straight up. Like, I really don't watch that many TV shows. I'm bad at watching shows. I still haven't even seen Loki season 2. And I loved the first one. Like, I gotta get on that. Like, I'm just so bad at watching shows. So I could only do 4 nominations. And the 4 nominations I got, I all loved. I loved all 4 of these shows that got nominated. None of them are going to be a surprise after you've seen all the other nominations throughout the night. But we've got The Last of Us, Ahsoka, The Bear, and Barry. There's a couple other shows I watched this year that I really didn't like too much, or were just kind of whatever to me. So basically, I just nominated all the shows that I watched and that I really enjoyed. I think they're all great shows. I think everybody should watch them. And yeah, I got to be better at watching TV. I only have so much time, you know. This year I watched more movies than I did last year, but listened to less music, and I watched less shows. So I got going into 2024, I want to try to be a little bit more balanced, where like I want to keep watching more and more movies every year, especially now that I have Regal Unlimited. But I also want to keep listening to new music, and I want to watch more shows. And I want to also watch old shows that I haven't seen yet as well. So that's like kind of my goal going into 2024. And then we've got Best Game. I believe this is the final category. And this is another one where, you know, I can't play every single video game that comes out every year. It's not like going to a movie theater or listening to music, you know, like it's a $70 entry fee on everything. And not only is it like a $70 entry fee on everything, it's also like a 10 to 20 to 30 hour commitment. So I can only nominate the games that I play. I can't play everything, but this year I think was a really solid year for video games. We've got Spider-Man 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the God of War Valhalla DLC that we just beat last stream. If you haven't seen those streams, go check them out. It was a great DLC. Fortnite, yes, LOL. And the ever so controversial The Last of Us Part 1. So Spider-Man 2, 10 out of 10, masterpiece. Absolutely love that game. Pretty much the same thing for Jedi Survivor. 10, almost a 10 out of 10. Probably no, I'd probably give Jedi Survivor like a 10 out of 10. Love that game as well. Um, I just love the Jedi games. I love Cal Kestis. He's become one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Can't wait to see what they do moving forward with that. Same thing with Spider-Man. God of War Valhalla literally just came out like last week or whatever as a free DLC expansion for God of War Ragnarok that nobody knew about or expected, and no one expected to come out so soon and to be free and to have as much like story stuff in it as it did. But my God, I'm not going to say anything about it because I think it's just best that God of War fans go and play it if they haven't played it. But if you have played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like just what a DLC. And now let me explain Fortnite. Let me take a sip of my iced tea before I explain why Fortnite's here. So for my best games category, I include games that are like live services. And what a live service is are games that get like constant updates, like new seasons, new content. Like you buy it and the game just keeps like evolving, I guess is like how you can kind of describe a live service. And this was maybe like the biggest year for Fortnite since like 2018, 19, like when it was really popping off. Like when Fortnite was the biggest thing in the world, like it kind of is again. Like Fortnite is huge right now with the month of like OG Fortnite coming back was ginormous. And then now with the relaunch of the new season, Lego Fortnite, the Fortnite Festival, and the Fortnite Racing, like the game is just it's back on top again. It took the throne in a big way. Like I was not expecting Fortnite to have as big of a year as it did. And from what I can remember, really like all of the seasons this year, I at least enjoyed. There wasn't really any seasons I didn't like this year. And then Fortnite again, like I said, recently just really exploded again and took the throne of gaming. You have arguably the best battle royale. You have a racing mode. You have a Minecraft mode. You have a Guitar Hero mode. Like it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And then The Last of Us Part 1, honestly, I just wanted to give it a shout out because I thought it was a good remake. The Last of Us is my favorite game of all time. You guys know this by now, especially with all these nominations and all my fanboying. But I just wanted to give it a shout out. It came out this year. I loved playing it. It was really cool to see it remade for the PS5 with all the enhancements and stuff. Really, really fun to play. It's by far the best way to play The Last of Us. So I just wanted to give it some love. That's it. But that's it. That's going to do it for the Bravo Award nominations. So moving forward, I'm going to go through and pick the winners. This will be the last Bravo cast of 2023. Just because like Christmas Eve falls on a Sunday, and Christmas Eve is huge in my family. Like we celebrate Christmas Eve like harder and bigger than Christmas Day itself. Like us, like Italians go fucking crazy for Christmas Eve. We go crazy for Christmas Eve. So I'm just not gonna be able to stream on Christmas Eve. So this will be the last Bravo cast of 2023. We will have other just normal streams this week, you know, gaming streams and stuff. But for the Bravo cast, that is a wrap on 2023. So in 2024, we will have the actual like award show where I pick all the winners. That'll be its own episode. And you can also expect like my best movies of the year video. which is like its own thing. I'll probably do, it'll be a top 10 like I did last year. I'll do my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. And for everybody that's been supporting the Bravo cast so far, it's young. This is only the 7th episode I've done. I just want to say thank you guys. I really enjoy this podcast. I really enjoy doing it. And I'm just excited to see where I can take it in the future and how I can progress it in 2024, what I can do with it, different ideas, and just, I want to see what I can do with it. And I'm really happy that I started doing it. And I'm just excited to keep growing it and evolving it into 2024. So that's a wrap on the Bravo cast for 2023. I figured the Bravo Award nominations would be a good way to send out the year. And like I said, I don't know if it'll be the first episode of 2024, but we will have another episode as a follow-up to this where I pick the actual winners of the Bravo Awards. I don't have like an exact date on when that will be. Like I said, it might not be the next episode of the Bravo cast. I might do another episode or two before I pick the winners. It depends on how easy of a time I have picking the winners. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Enjoy the Bravo Awards if you're excited to see the winners picked. Let me know what you thought about all my picks. Let me know if I snubbed anything, if there's anything that you think should have gotten nominated, if you agree with some of my picks, if you disagree with some of my picks. Let me know. And for regular streams, we're probably going to do some Fortnite tomorrow. We'll have a couple streams this week. As always, the best way to stay up to date on all of my streams, BravoCast and regular streams, is to just head on into my Discord and just hang out in the Discord with me and everybody else in the community. It's the best way to stay up to date with everybody and to act and to interact with me personally. I always post my updates in there, and I always just kind of post random messages and hang out in there and talk to you guys. And if you haven't liked the stream, make sure to like the stream and subscribe for more episodes of the BravoCast and more streams and videos in general. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your night tonight. And if I don't see you guys, or if you guys don't watch my gaming streams, I hope you have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. I hope you have a Happy New Year, I think. Hold on. What day does New Year's fall on? Is that also a Sunday? Because that's a Sunday too. I'm probably not going to be able to stream. It is a Sunday. Goddamn. Yeah, so I guess next BravoCast will be the day after my birthday, actually, on January 7th. That sounds about right. So yeah, I'll just say to you guys, in case you don't watch my gaming streams, you just watch the BravoCast or whatever. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope you guys just have a good time celebrating with your family, friends, whatever you guys are going to do. Be safe out there, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the new year. Bravo 6 going dark. Take care, guys. Have a good one.